What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to some more Warzone. So in today's video we're going to be looking at the best SMG in Warzone and which one I feel currently with the meta at the moment is the best SMG. I'm going to be looking at the Bullfrog and the Otis 9. We're going to go over the stats of each weapon and then you guys can determine which gun to use. We'll also be going over some loadouts as well, so if you enjoyed the video please consider subscribing to the channel, give it a thumbs up and make sure you hit the notifications bell for when I'm uploading future content. And with that, let's get straight into it. So currently as it is at the moment in Warzone, people seem to be gravitating towards the Bullfrog over some of the other SMGs, and I will be going over the statistics of the weapon and kind of where you can get the best TTKs. We'll also go over the recoil patterns in regards to the Otis 9 and the Bullfrog, because obviously the Otis 9 has the fastest TTK. But only up to about kind of 10 meters, but I'll be going into that in a little bit more in depth. But let's have a look now at the recoil patterns. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put the ammo capacity down to 30 on both weapons. Now, both of these guns haven't got attachments for recoil, and I will show you the loadouts that I'm using in a little bit. But let's have a look at the Bullfrog. Now, the Bullfrog surprisingly just goes sort of up and to the left. There's no kind of sort of kinks in it, which makes it quite easy to manage. And then the Otis 9 literally goes straight up with a slight slant to the right. But if you see here, you can clearly see that the Otis 9 has more space in between each bullet. So it has a higher vertical recoil than the Bullfrog, which just makes it a little bit harder to kind of manage. And obviously the Bullfrog is going sort of up and to the left, which kind of is like you can compensate for that quite easier than you can for the Otis 9. And then obviously that's me trying to manage the recoil. And then you've got the Otis 9 as well, which is quite easy to manage because it's literally just going straight up. But at those further distances, which is what I'm going to show you guys now, you'll see that it's probably a little bit easier to use the Bullfrog than it is to use the Otis 9. So I'm going to do it from about sort of 50 meters. And it's just because there is that sort of, the bullets are sort of tightly knit with the Bullfrog, whereas with the Otis 9 there's that big space in between each bullet. So it just makes it that much easier to be able to kind of, I'm just going to put it down to 40, so they've both got 40 bullets. So yeah, we'll see from about here, you can just see that the Bullfrog just is that much easier to manage, and it actually has better bullet velocity as well. And then with the Otis 9, you can just see once there's a bit of a kick to the weapon, so it goes straight up. So at those longer distances, it's going to be a little bit easier to manage. We will have a look now at the sort of statistics of the weapons in regards to the Otis 9 and the Bullfrog to try and tell you guys which is going to be the better one to use in regards to TTK and when you should be using the weapon at certain ranges. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is have a look at the TTK chart for the Otis 9, the Bullfrog, and I've also thrown in the Cold War MP5 for you guys to have a look at as well, just so you got a full comparison of the top SMGs in Warzone at the moment. And what we've done here is we're having a look at the chest, if you get chest shots, and then we've also added in the percentage of ADS time, because obviously when you use an SMG you want to be able to ADS down as quickly as possible. And in the first 10 meters you can clearly see here that the Otis 9 absolutely dominates up until about 10 meters. The only issue with this weapon is it has two drop-offs. So you can see here that after 10 meters, the Bullfrog absolutely dominates. So if you are somebody that likes to get up close and personal, I would recommend you guys either use the Otis 9 or the Cold War MP5. But the only issue with the Otis 9 is that it only has 40 bullets, and anything after 10 meters, you're probably going to lose out to the Bullfrog or the MP5 Cold War when using it for chest shots. The good thing about the Bullfrog is that it's just a balanced weapon. So if you're going to use this here, you want to be able to keep people at distance up until about 10 meters, because obviously if you come into contact with somebody that has an Otis 9, the chances are you're going to lose the gunfight. But the good thing about the Bullfrog is that you have an extra attachment. Because this weapon comes with default ammo at 50, it means you can use that for another attachment slot, and that means you can then stick on the bruiser grip, which will help you with mobility and hip fire and everything. So that's where it kind of, for me, is the one that I'm going to at the moment, just purely because you've got that extra attachment and you have 50 bullets. You know, if you're getting into these gunfights up close with the Otis 9, you have to keep reloading and everything, and sometimes you're going to end up losing out on the gunfight because of that. And then if you look at headshots, it kind of sort of bridges the gap a little bit between these weapons. So if you are using a Bullfrog, do try to get a couple of headshots in the mix, and you will see that it drastically reduces the TTK and brings it in line with the weapons. But then at those further distances, you are going to be absolutely destroying the MP5 Cold War and the Otis 9 at those distances as well. Now, if you have a look here at the summary stats comparison, you can see here that the Bullfrog has the best ADS, it has the best tactical sprint, it has the best ADS movement speed, but alongside the Cold War MP5. And it also has the best bullet velocity. So that's why at those sort of longer distances, you are able to take people out at like 30, 40 meters because you've got the bullet velocity and it's only got one damage drop off. And I'm noticing that, you know, when I'm using this as sniper support, I'm not having too much trouble. The only time I do have trouble with the Bullfrog is when I'm up close and personal, and I just need to strafe as fast as I can from left to right and bunny hop to be able to take on people that have the Otis 9. As long as you do that, you should be okay. So the loadout that I'm using for the Bullfrog is a GRU suppressor, the 7.4 Task Force, the Tiger Team Spotlight, the KGB skeletal stock, and the bruiser grip. And there are the other loadouts for the Otis 9 and the MP5 that I was using in this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the notifications bell for when I'm uploading future content. And with that, stay blessed, guys.